a bunch of hair on my monitor. In my pants. Bad down the hatches, Wormine. It's time for some real drama and shit on the shores of the kingdom. We're gonna get into some real stuff. I'm here to talk about Supernatural. Some of my cats are still up here. Shut up! Babies. The battery's dying already? What the fuck? I keep only making these when I feel strongly about something, and I guess I feel strongly about Supernatural and the way it went. So I'm gonna review it, just talk about it. I've got so many points. This is probably gonna be multiple parts because, you know, I kinda suck at doing this. Seriously, what the fuck is that? So to start off, I liked the show. The first 5 seasons I think were like really good. I might come off as a bit of a purist as this goes on and on and on. But there was like an overall narrative and story they had going. And the first 5 seasons had like an actual... What the fuck? First 5 seasons had like a... Shut up and just talk! First 5 seasons had an actual storyline going. And it didn't really seem like it was made up as they went. Things seem to be building towards a big showdown. I mean, early on, I don't know too many specifics, so don't at me, because I'm about to get a lot of things wrong. But early on, demons were introduced, and they were trying to free Lucifer, because Azazel was like the big demon bad that So they ran into demons, and it becomes apparent that the demons are trying to do something, and that's free Lucifer. But you don't really learn that until like later on, I think by season 3 or 4 or something. And all the while, there's this weird trickster dude that seems to be trying to teach Dean and Sam Winchester lessons about life and sacrifice and kind of moving on and fulfilling their roles in life. And it's like, what? Why is he doing that? And you find out it's because he's trying to get them to fucking just be part of the apocalypse and get this shit over with. And that actually kind of plays out pretty well over 5 seasons without feeling too much like it's just being shat out as they go. Let's fucking die. And with the whole like reveal of angels and stuff, and demons, and Sam and Dean being vessels for like the 2 big archangels, Michael and Lucifer, it just played out really well over 5 seasons. Like it starts off Monster of the Week, and they still do that, but you just find out there's actually like a big plot behind this all. And it's really cool and nice, and then in season 6, because the show was written to have 5 seasons, which they kept saying, like, I think from the beginning, or at least the midway point. But I think CW was like, motherfuckers, this show's making us money. And the cast and crew liked making it. It's time. So they just kept doing it. And I don't blame them. I blame the writers. Because the original showrunner left to go do things. He made The Boys, that's good. Can't wait to see how that like plays out and ends. But like, after that, multiple other people came along and ran the show. And it just kind of felt like a fanfic, pretty much ever since. And like, seasons started ending, like, there would be, you know, seasons end. Like, each season from 6 onward would kind of end with, or at least the ones I saw, would end and kind of kick off the next season's threat that would last for a little bit, and then that season would end and kick off the next season's threat, instead of it being like a big overarching, having a big overarching structure. It was kind of just, it was made up as they went, because, you know, different showrunners, and they had to keep the show going, so they had to keep coming up with ideas, and oh boy did they come up with ideas and shit on old ones. Bald spot? I'm just gonna shave my fucking head. I mean, I can't pull off cool outfits like this. I mean, from the start with season 6, they make a big deal about like revealing the Impala and Dean returning to his hunter self. Because at the end of season 5, he settles down. His brother goes to hell, gets trapped with Lucifer and Michael and their half-brother. That poor guy who gets roped into things. That leaves Dean to like kind of leave the life, and they stop the apocalypse by stopping the big fated battle between Michael and Lucifer, which was going to destroy everything. God even helped a little bit, and it was cool. That wasn't the point. But Dean settles down and has a life, and then season 6 is like, no, he's a hunter again. Look at him get his car and be a hunter and do hunter things. And it kind of foreshadows, because he runs into this thing that like makes him hallucinate, and he hallucinates seeing Azazel. It was like the first big demon monster they run into, really. It foreshadows because things get brought back a fuck ton in this series. Although that was just a hallucination. But I honestly thought, you know, he probably did just come back. Did I mention the show? Yeah, I did mention the show kind of becomes a fanfic. Well, because people liked the show and worked on it and then started doing what they wanted to do with it. Like fanfics. I mean, you get things like Evil Dean because of this whole, like, dumb storyline about the Mark of Cain, and it conveniently has to be passed to Dean at some point, and because he needs it to kill a big evil demon they made up, who's like an arc demon. Actually, no, she was a Knight of Hell. They didn't even think to use arc demon. They made up Knights of Hell that nobody knew about for the first 5 seasons. It was never brought up. It was forgotten history. Anyway, so Dean becomes evil, and because of it, over time, I don't even know how many seasons, but it happens, and he dies again and wakes up a demon, and he's like evil during this whole transformation too. Like, hey, let's make a character evil. That's a fun thing to do when you're jumping the shark. They jump the shark a lot of times, if I'm even... I think I'm using that right. Because then you also get corrupt Castiel, like right out of the fucking gate, whatever. Off the bat, out of the gate. Because in season 6, he's trying to rule heaven and make things peaceful, but Raphael is like the last archangel out of the 4 that originally existed. Because there's Michael, Lucifer, Gabriel, and him. And Raphael's still around, and he's mad, and he's not letting Castiel be a good king, and he's fighting him. So Castiel decides, oh, there's purgatory that's got souls where monsters go. But that's also where things go when they die. With the empty? I didn't even think about that when I wrote this outline. What the fuck? They live in purgatory, and then when they die, they go to the empty? But then they're also on Earth, alive. Doesn't fucking matter, everybody just comes and goes out of the empty anyway. They get brought back. Everything gets brought back a bunch of times. Where was I? Oh, Castiel decides he needs to do some corrupt shit behind everybody's back to go absorb all the souls and stuff that are in purgatory so he can become uber powerful and destroy Raphael. I'm gonna get more into why that's bullshit. But yeah, you get what if Castiel was evil, or at least shady. They're working with Crowley. You get Sam without his soul, because he conveniently got brought back out of the cage without his soul. Because he was in the cage, which I didn't even talk about. I mean, everybody fucking knows. I'm not recapping the whole thing. So he's in the cage with Lucifer and Michael and stuff, and like Castiel brings him back, but can only bring his body back. But that's not a fucking thing that you could have done earlier in the show, because the ghosts slash souls were the people. So how are their bodies just running around without them? And then it happens again with Adam, who's another great... Like, I'm not knocking the cast or anything. They all have fun liking it. Making it. But, I mean... It's my review. And Wormmon agrees, because I tell him to... I'm sorry, I should probably try to be a little bit more mature. And you get Crowley taking over Hell. Like... And just like, hey, Crowley, what if he was a big villain, and he's the king of hell, and more powerful now? Because we like him, so let's use that a lot. Castiel's vessel, at some point, it's established his vessel's dead, because Jimmy Novak, I think was his name. You work for Jimmy! When you're an angel, you serve cold drinks! Like, Castiel's vessel has, like, his own episode, where after Castiel gets dragged out of him, so you kind of learn about him and the whole process of angel possession and what led to Castiel coming down to Earth. But, you know, in like season 6 or 7 or something, it's established that during one of the many times Castiel dies, his vessel stayed dead and it just got brought back so Castiel could use it. Which, you know, it's like, great. Convenient meat soup. Just sit there for Castiel whenever he needs it. Fuck it. You don't need anybody's consent to possess anymore. I mean, they write that out anyway. But he's got a vessel on standby at all times. He's got a body now. Fuck it. I know they did that with Anna, but I mean, she kind of went through a whole process of becoming a human and then being an angel again. And she said she pulled some favors to get her body, like, remade? Because it was a human version of her angel body that blew up and then got unblown up? I'm gonna turn this off. It's gonna fuck itself up. I already mentioned Adam. Not Adam. Did I say Adam? Is that his name? What the fuck was his name? Lucifer's son, whatever his name was. Adam is the vessel for Michael. He's like the half-brother of the Winchesters. And it allows Michael to, like, not need Dean. It's like, hey, Adam's actually close enough, I'll just use him. Which was a cool little thing they threw out there, since Dean was, like, saying no, after repeatedly, like, coming close to saying yes, to being Michael's vessel, letting him possess him and do the apocalypse. What the fuck was that kid's name, though? But yeah, Lucifer has a son, and he ends up becoming strong enough to fucking suck God's powers out of his body or something. That's a whole other dumb thing I gotta get into. Great! Then you get Dean getting fucking Michael's powers, because, you know, what if Dean did get possessed by Michael, except it's alternate universe Michael, and they made a deal where he gets to use his powers and doesn't get possessed by him. I guess I could see that happening, but it didn't need to. Oh, and then at one point Dean does actually get possessed by this alternate universe Michael, and wears like a hat and some shit. And it's like, then they go back in time and are cowboys at one point. There's a train! Oh yeah, Crowley has a mom who's a really powerful witch. She even helps like fortify Lucifer's like alternate vessel. Because like in season 4 and 5, he's got this alternate vessel that's... Season 5! They freed him at the end of season 4. Season 5, there's like some rando guy who probably has to be related to the Winchesters since Lucifer is able to possess him. At least that was like the rule back then. I'll get into that. Anyway, this vessel was like coming apart because it just wasn't powerful enough to hold Lucifer's like full essence. But you know, Crowley's mom is a powerful witch, and what if she was able to fucking fortify this vessel so Lucifer can conveniently have that vessel whenever he wants, all the many, many, many times he comes back. All the angels and demons show up a lot. Whatever they want. Just ruin the show. Actually, that was my next point. Is like, people keep coming back. They kill Gabriel off in season 5 when he's like, after he keeps fucking with the brothers to try and get them to do the apocalypse, he ends up realizing like, hey, humans are special, they should have free will, let me help them. And he actually tries to kill Lucifer with like an angel blade, because they all have them. And Lucifer ends up winning, because he's like, hey, I taught you all your special tricks. I know where your heart is, and then he literally like stabs his heart after he tries some like fake out teleporting shit. But then Gabriel comes back, because it turns out he wasn't dead somehow. A demon took him and sucked out his powers and became an archdemon. Maybe they did use that term, or at least he became one because he was eating archangel power. And then that's like Lucifer's son, who's a Nephilim, because he had an affair with a woman that was on Earth, a human woman as they're called, and it made his son. And his son was able to like, I think, kill this demon dude or something. So this is a lot. I haven't entirely watched all of it, but I'm reviewing it anyway. Sorry. I mean, I did keep up with a lot of it and watch a lot of clips. So that's how I know a lot of this crap happened, and I did watch a lot of the important points, and I can't say I'm not disappointed in CW. Like, at one point, Crowley even captures Lucifer, because you gotta make Crowley seem cool, because they got fanfic all over him. Oh yeah, Lucifer takes over heaven at one point. One of the many times he's freed. And he possesses Castiel's body. I'll get into that, because you might be asking, Dippy, how would Lucifer take over Castiel's body? They're not. Didn't you say they need bloodlines or something? And I don't know if I did, young man or woman. Or that. Did I? I will. I'll get into it. And oh yeah, the best part, last and certainly not the least, is the Winchesters get a fucking secret base They spent seasons 1 through, I think, like 7 or 8, just living on the road, faking identities and stuff, stealing people's credit card info to live off of, because they don't have jobs. They can't have jobs because they're on the move hunting monsters all the time, so they can't have day jobs. They have to literally just steal from people. At one point, they even get arrested for that in, like, season 3. They finally get caught, which is all the more reason there shouldn't have been more seasons, because how the fuck are they... They got away with more of it. Nobody... Whatever. I guess it helps that Lilith torched, like, everybody that caught them. But yeah, this base comes from them... I think their maternal great-grandfather or something was part of a fucking secret society, of course, of, like, supernatural hunting people. Whereas their dad's side was, like, the more rough and tumble hunters that they are. Like, great! Of course it's a secret society. They're a part of it. Now they get a home and a base and all kinds of magic stuff. Of course they do. Who needs charm? So that's all the fanfic stuff. That's kind of what that section was. I guess they also tend to, like, overuse themes, which when you get a show going this long, it can happen, but they're really trying to, like, bank on nostalgia for, like, I think it's nostalgia and just people liking certain parts of the show. Because, like, throughout seasons 1 and 5, Sam and Dean are, like, they come into some hiccups with their relationship. Sam ends up trusting a demon over Dean, and that demon is actually trying to help free Lucifer, and Sam thinks she's trying to help him use special powers he was given. Which, really, the demons needed that power to free Lucifer. And Dean's like, what the fuck, dude? I told you this shit was gonna happen, and now Lucifer's free, and everybody hates us because you helped free him. And I told you that's probably what was happening. And then that was kind of a big issue for a while, but they got over it. And Castiel was like this angel that was, well, being humanized over time, because angels were like robots, and they hadn't been to Earth in a while. And Sam and Dean helped him become more human. So he kind of trusted them more and more. And at one point, Dean almost says yes to, like, helping the apocalypse happen, and that pisses Castiel off. And they work through that. And then they all have trust issues again and again, and again, I can't even remember them all. There was something about Sam doing design or something when he was trying to help purify Crowley. Oh, that's a thing. They try to purify Crowley and make him human again. It's like, what if you could fix demon thing? Becoming a demon. Because humans become demons. Demons are just really corrupted humans. So they're like, hey, let's uncorrupt Crowley. And there was some secret bullshit behind that made them not trust each other. And then Sam not having his soul and not, like, telling Dean, that was another, like, hiccup. You know, Sam was, like, almost letting Dean die to succeed in a hunt at times. And then there's the whole Castiel being corrupt and doing some shady dealings to get the souls in purgatory. And then at some point again recently they don't trust each other because they don't agree over what to do about Jack, I think. Castiel's like, you don't need me, some shit. Jack's the name of Lucifer's son, I just remembered. Yay. And then Demons and Angels, after like season 4, are everywhere. I mean, season 5, of course, they're there because they're trying to start the fucking apocalypse. The demons want Lucifer to win, and the angels actually want Lucifer free and out there just because they think Michael's gonna smite him and their big conflict will be over and heaven and earth can just be at peace, even with Earth torched. They just didn't care. But even in season 5, they weren't in like every fucking episode. They went back to their Monster of the Week stuff at times, but like beyond like season 6 and onward, it feels like they're just always there. I know one showrunner said he was going to try not to rely on them as much. He or she, I can't remember which one. But you know, they're there. Castiel's a main cast member now. That's my favorite character, and I don't want him in every episode. I mean, I'm glad the actor's getting work and enjoying it. Just in terms of like story critiquing. I don't want him in every fucking episode, or even every other episode. Like, don't have him so much. And Crowley, like, you shouldn't have had him back at all. It was awesome the way he shows up at the end of season 5 to help them, like, get a weapon to try and kill Lucifer. that spectacularly fails. But now he's back as a main villain. He never wanted to be a villain. He just wanted to be left alone. That's why he's trying to stop the apocalypse. He was the only demon that knew, besides Lilith, that Lucifer was gonna kill them all too, because he hated demons more than he hated humans. But Crowley is now a megalomaniac. He gets like a whole season where he's the big bad, and then he's in every fucking video I've ever clicked on. Okay, that's gonna be part 1. I'm actually gonna cut it off, so I don't have to do some dumb joke about an asteroid hitting the Earth again or something. I like this coat. I mean, this outfit's bullshit, but I like this coat. I'm bald. Wormon! Batten down the hatches, Wormon. Good. Batten down the hatches, Wormon. Batten down the hatches. Fuck. Batten down the hatches, Wormon. Where am I?